Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a few topics to cover today, including how the Chocobo GP racing game seems to be filled with a lot of microtransactions. And we take a look at the February NPD sales. We have those topics and lots of others to cover. But before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. So Chocobo GP Racing came out last week, and everything I had seen leading up to this release had looked pretty interesting. However, once the game released, people found out that there was just a lot of microtransactions in this game. Let's take a look here at what an article from Kotaku has. It says, if you want to get Final Fantasy VII's Cloud Strife, for example, you need to buy Chocobo GP's first season pass. That costs 800 mithril. Normally, mithril packs are $10 for 1,000, but a launch period promotion is giving out 1,600 for just $8. The game will also give you 800 mithril just for logging on during the Season 1. So everyone playing at launch will technically get the Season Pass for free. Read the fine print though, and you'll see that the complimentary 800 mithril expires if not used within 5 months. So they go on to highlight a tweet here to give you just an idea of how much it takes to unlock the content on this game. So after about an hour of playing the online mode in Chocobo GP, I managed to win one of its tournaments, and by the end of that time, I'm only at level 7 for the battle pass. You need to get to level 60 to unlock Cloud. So while most players are really unhappy with the level of grind you gotta do or just pay to unlock what you want, the official Final Fantasy Twitter account tried to address some of these issues. Thank you for playing Chocobo GP. We are sorry that players are currently unable to play the Chocobo GP mode to satisfactory level. To apologize, we have gifted everyone 500 mithril free of charge. We have also made the prize level settings for the Chocobo GP mode more forgiving. We will share details on this as soon as possible. So it sounds like they're looking to address the grind level issues in here, and I think that's a positive, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see what's actually adjusted and whether or not it's a big improvement. And I do find it disappointing that they would release this game with such a heavy grind on it, especially when you're paying $50 straight up to buy the game. I can understand if this was a free-to-play game, that's kind of how they have to make their money, but when you're paying for the game at a full price level, you really should have adjusted those grind levels. Next, let's take a look at the NPD sales for February. As we take a look at this chart here, you can see that compared to last year in February, the video game content has dropped a little bit, but we've seen a significant decrease in video game hardware. Now it's reported that this great decrease in hardware sales is basically due to supply issues. So I would expect as these supply issues get worked out, we'll probably see these numbers start to increase over the next year. They also reported that the Switch was the best-selling hardware platform for February in both units and in dollars, and surprisingly the Xbox Series ranked second among both of those measures. Now overall in 2022, the PlayStation 5 still leads in hardware sales in dollars year to date, and the Switch still has achieved the most units sold. And now taking a look at the February game sales, we have Elden Ring at the top, followed by Horizon Forbidden West and Pokemon Legends Arceus make up the top 3. And as a reminder, Nintendo does not include their digital sales in these charts. So it could be Pokemon Legends Arceus could be a little higher than this, but considering it's been out for a few months, this may be really where it sits. So does anything on this chart catch your attention? Make sure to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Next, it looks like Xbox may be looking to do their own digital event and not wait on hearing what's going to happen with E3. This coming from Video Games Chronicles, it says, Xbox looks to hold its E3 style showcase in June. This is all spurring from a comment made by Jeff Grubb from GamesBeat at a video show this past Friday. When talking about this possible digital event, he goes on to say, they're talking to partners to get big names in there. That is ongoing right now, and it's March, so it's not like they can change that train or turn that big ship around. They are heading in that direction, and they're going to do something in that time frame. So this article goes on to remind us that E3 has canceled this year's physical event for the third year in a row and has yet confirmed plans for a digital event. Last year, the ESA held 3 days of live-streamed coverage to replace the physical show. Now, before E3 was canceled in 2022 for the reasons that we all know of, there was already signs that the event was having issues. We know that Nintendo had not done a presentation officially there in several years. Sony has completely pulled out of the event. And if you're going to hold an event that's digital only, why even bother with messing with E3 and not just host it on your own? So I think if E3 is going to stick around in the future, most likely their best bet is just to kind of cancel this year again and maybe hold off for next year to do an actual physical in-person event. And it could be scaled back with only industry people and not have it this big show like they had started to turn it into, where they were letting lots of the public in and you would sit there and wait for hours on end to maybe play a game for just a few minutes. But what are your thoughts? With all these things going digital, is there much of a reason to have E3 anymore? And last, the Famitsu Awards were announced, and this is comprised of user votes. So this is players in Japan voting for each of these categories, and I wanted to highlight a few of them here. You can see the game of the year was Monster Hunter Rise, and Sakurai got the most valuable creator. That's not too much of a surprise since we're finally seeing an end to the DLC for Smash Brothers, and considering how much content was added over the years, this makes the most logical sense. And that's all we have for today's video. Let me know what you think about any of these topics. Did you pick up Chocobo GP and were kind of miffed at the amount of microtransactions in it? And with the NPD sales, are you kind of surprised to find out that Microsoft was in second place with hardware sales? Or are we just kind of at the point of whoever can make the most systems that month wins? Let me know what you think about those or any of the other topics we covered today. I want to thank you for watching and be good.